Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM or through WYADonline.com. We're glad you all could be with us. Also, those joining us through our online affiliates around the world, we're glad that you all could tune in as well. You know, we are all about being able to inspire you all to go for your own inner greatness. And our next guest has definitely been able to do that for herself, as well as been able to push others to do the same. We're excited to welcome Melissa Banks to our program today. She's an event planner. She's an entrepreneur and a motivational speaker. She and I first met online this year. Then that turned into an offline meeting, and now we can call ourselves friends. We're going to talk to Melissa about the journey she's been on, what it's been like for her to do work that she loves, but also what it's been like for her to inspire other people to pursue their own goals and dreams. Melissa, hello to you, and welcome to the program.
Hi, Cyrus. How are you today?
Hey, doing really good. So, Melissa, a lot for us to try to cover, but as I mentioned, you and I initially connected this year, began online thanks to the place most people are these days, and that's Facebook, right? And then we got a chance to meet at, no better place than Dunkin' Donuts when they were introducing a new product, and we've kind of stayed connected ever since. But like I said, you've been able to do some amazing things for sure, Melissa. As I mentioned, a lot of people know you for the fantastic work you do as an event planner, but also your work as a motivational speaker and entrepreneur. What has it been like for you, Melissa, to be able to look at what you've been able to do and how people have been able to respond to it?
It's still mind-boggling to me because I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, little black girl on single parent, and we didn't really dream of owning our own business. This is not something we even thought of, actually. And to look back and see that I started out making flower arrangements for people at church, and then to see that people listen to what I have to say and get inspired from what I have to say and what my story is. So it's mind-boggling sometimes, but exciting and fulfilling.
Right. And I think that is the amazing thing about you, Melissa. Like I said, I'm so glad that you and I connected, because I think the thing is a lot of times people will look at some people and say, you know what, I could never do what they do, or, they're in a place where I don't think I could ever get. And yet, I mean, that is exactly what you inspire people to do, to dream big, to go for what they want. So my question would be to you, what gave you the knowledge and also the push to let you know that you could do it?
Well, I share the story often with the audiences that I worked for a major technology company, and there were rumors circulating that they were going to lay off about 3,000 people, so I was very nervous. I was a single parent raising my two sons, and I was afraid. But one morning, I felt a voice in my spirit. I tell people God spoke to me that morning. He was clear, but he was not audible. It was a feeling that I would own my own business. I tell you, I have never even thought of owning my own business prior to that moment. But once that dream was placed in me, no matter where life took me, what direction I went in, the ups and downs, the problems that occurred in my life, the disappointments, I always came back to that dream. So because I believe that dream was planted in me, I go back to it. And I believe, I'm just crazy enough to keep believing, even when things doesn't work out, I find a way to move to the next thing. I tell people, as long as you keep moving, you can make your dream happen. It's when you stop moving that your dream can't happen.
That is so true, and I have found that to be the case for myself, Melissa. I think a lot of times people are so quick to give up, not only on their dreams but on themselves. And I think if you just keep pushing and realize that you were meant for something. And I think too, it's very easy for us, Melissa. You talked about something again that our audience can, I think, relate to, the fact that you didn't see this being something that you would be able to do or wanted to do. But what was it like for you to realize that other people saw it in you? I've always been amazed at how many people tell me, I saw this coming for you, or I knew this was going to happen, at times that I didn't even know it for myself. So what was it like for you to have people believing in you even before you fully believed in yourself?
This is an interesting question. I take you back to, I ran into someone who knew me many years ago when I was in a bad marriage and going through a whole lot of things. And I saw her because I did a family member of hers wedding. And I looked at her in the event hall and I said, can you believe this is me? I am the person that put all of this together. This is what I do. And she looked at me and she said, yes, I do believe it. that was a mind-blowing experience for me, because this person only knew me from that down time, that disappointment time in my life, that I didn't have a voice. I didn't think I could make a life for me and my kids. So she knew me from back then, but she says, you know what? I saw it even in that. So that was a push to let me know, you know what? I do have something. So that was the first time that someone that I thought, they can see it in me, but I have to be able to see it in myself. And that's why I tell people today, if you can see it, if you can believe it, and you can think it, you can make it happen. It begins with your thoughts.
It does, and I think that is so important for our audience to hear, no matter where they may be listening to us from. Melissa, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. Excited to welcome Melissa Banks to our program today. It's her first time on with us. We're talking with her about her journey that led her now to being an event planner, a motivational speaker, as well as, of course, an entrepreneur that's been able to push other people toward their own personal greatness, but she's been able to do it through her own example and the work she's been able to do. Now, one of the things that people will say, Melissa, as they're hearing you talk about this, well, yeah, I mean, you've been able to do this, you've been able to do that, but, you know, I'm scared. I'm afraid of, you know, what's going to happen if I step out there. I'm afraid of what people are going to say. I'm afraid of what if it doesn't work out, similar to what you were saying. How did you get over that fear?
Well, I don't know that I ever got over the fear. I'm afraid now. I'm afraid that I'm going to get a contract and not be able to produce it in a way that makes somebody happy. I'm afraid that I'll get on stage in front of an audience that wants me to say something that pushed them and I don't have the words to say. I'm also afraid that I mentor one-on-one with some business owners that start their business and they're listening to me and doing what I say. I'm afraid that my advice is not going to be good. But you know what I say? I say to other people and I say to myself, do it afraid. Do it when you're scared. Do it when your hands are shaking because the microphone is in your hand, but you got a lot to say. Do it anyway. You have to do it afraid to get to where you want to go.
That is so true, and I've definitely found that to be the case for myself as well. I mean, you do. I mean, and I think, you know, the alternative is something that you definitely don't want to live, right? You don't want to live in the regret. Right. You don't want to live with the what if. So, I mean, let's talk about the branches, because it all began with knowing what you could do. Melissa, how does this tree start? I mentioned you're a motivational speaker, you're an event planner, an entrepreneur. Where did it all begin?
It began actually in decorating. I wanted to do flower arrangements and decorate people's houses for Christmas. That's what I wanted to do. So when the dream was placed in me to start a business, I, of course, thought that was the business I was to start, selling flower arrangements to people I know and church people. How many people know that once you start that stuff you were doing for free, for people, when you start asking them to pay for it, it doesn't quite work out the way you thought. So that's where I started. My very first event, I had a table full of flower arrangements that I was going to sell over at the Hilton in Jackson, and I set up at an event that Saturday, and I didn't sell a thing. Everybody loved it, took pictures of it, was excited about it, but I didn't sell a thing. That's where my event planning and decorating business started that day. But you know what? When I was home that day, I was not discouraged. Surprisingly enough, I didn't think, I can't do this. What I thought was, wow, I love this. I want to do this. I want to learn more. And because I have a training background, my first thought was, I got to get some professional training. And that's what I did. And it started from there.
And now here you are in a place, and one thing I did when I was prepping for your segment, you know, Melissa, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And I was on your Facebook page and looking at the pictures. What is it like for you to see that confident individual staring back at you and knowing that that is you and what it took for you to get there?
Wow. You know, just recently, I started actually posting pictures of myself. I didn't have that confidence to have my face out there, so I would post my work because I felt like my work was good work, right? But as my business started expanding, the work, people needed to get to know me. And to me, that's the hardest part of it all, is opening yourself up and letting people see you. And as it evolved, and I look at those pictures, particularly a picture I posted today I looked at that picture and I thought, wow, who is that person in that picture? That picture, that person is me. That picture shows to me that no matter what has happened, what turmoil or disappointments I went through, I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. It's the confidence in yourself. It's the ability to keep believing in yourself not trying to get permission from anybody, not getting anybody to sign on or agree with you. Most people don't agree with you. I hear all the time, you work too hard, you work too many hours, you need to take some time off. I hear that from every single person in my circle all the time. But I don't need sign on. Somewhere along the way, when I tell you God works with you and he gives you what you need, that is exactly what happened to me. So he gave me that confidence to keep going, no matter what it's looking like. It's not looking great. I got 20 no's over here, but I'm trying to get to that one yes that's over here. And I keep going, and that confidence, and the more confident I got, the more it shows in my face. So I look at those pictures, and I think about the 20 years. This is 20 years I've been doing this. So I think about each step of that 20 years, and it's just still amazes me, and I want more. I keep thinking of different ways to do more, to give more, and to help somebody along the way.
And I think that is the big thing, knowing that you're helping people along the way. And that is what excites me so much, Melissa, about this journey that I'm on and that you're on and so many people I meet, is that it's so much bigger. And you and I have talked about this even in person. It's so much bigger than one person. It's so much bigger than just what I want. And I think, if people realize that and realize the joy that can come from helping other people, they'd be so much better off. So that leads us to the dream. How did the dream boxes come about?
Okay, the dream is our jewelry line where we feature pearl jewelry. Years ago, back in 2002, I kept a journal, and I read this book that said, write it down and make it happen, and be descriptive in your vision for your company. So one of the things I wrote down is I wanted to sell jewelry, and I had it mapped out in my head how I thought that would look. But when the time came 2 years ago, it's Dream's anniversary, actually. 2 years ago, the time was now to do the jewelry. I didn't quite know how I was going to do it or what it was going to look like. But as I looked back over pictures of myself and my family, the other women in my family, which I'm come from a family of strong women, pearls was always present for us. We even looked at some pictures that years and years ago, as we were growing up as little girls, we were even playing in pearls. And then I realized why I wore pearls myself all the time. And because pearls gives you a feeling of confidence, it's just the way you feel, a feeling of royalty. If you look at the royals, if you look at movies that have royals and dignitaries, the women will be wearing pearls. And I thought, I want to make women feel great, and I want to offer a product that makes women feel great. And that's where the dream came along. The pearls are affordable, and they still give you that great feeling as if they were a $1,000 piece on your neck. You still have that feeling of confidence that pearls give. The dream boxes came along because of the excitement that women showed me when they saw all of our pearls. So I thought, this excitement, anybody would enjoy opening up that dream box and having a piece of pearl jewelry in there or something to set the stage, even a journal or something like that inside that box, in order for them to write down their thoughts, to treat somebody, to say, you're special, so I'm going to treat you to this dream box because I believe in your dream. And I think that is the cool thing.
Yeah, and I think that is so powerful, knowing that someone believes in them. And it's also a reminder, right? And I should say, as a matter of full disclosure, that Melissa actually has some of her dream boxes that are going to be traveling with me as I'm wrapping up my travels here in June to New York, Atlanta, and to Los Angeles. So you guys will be seeing pictures with the dream boxes with some of the celebs I'm going to be interviewing there. So, Melissa, I'm excited to take something from Mississippi. I'm always get excited about bringing someone from Mississippi along with me on this journey to show people what's possible. Right. So I'm excited about that. But when you first were showing me the boxes when I met with you to pick them up, I thought, wow, this is such a neat idea. I mean, and it's something, again, that, people around the world can be able to enjoy. I want to talk about that because I'm still dealing with that part myself. A lot of times I still think so small and so local and so what's in front of me. Has it sunk in with you that you're creating something that people around the world will take notice of?
I don't think it's sunk in, and I don't think I say this. When God gives you a vision, He gives you what He needs you to see at that moment. So at the moment that I had the idea of the dream boxes, it never occurred to me that people around the world would actually have one of my boxes in front of them and open up and see it. That's just still beyond what I can envision. But But God has the plan, and He has it always laid out. When I thought of it, I thought just family and people around here locally. Mother's Day, we had boxes go everywhere for Mother's Day, and that was one of the most amazing moments. And then for this opportunity to come after that, it's just beyond what I can believe. But you know what? That's what He promised. Beyond what I can believe. So I'm so excited, beyond what I can even express to you, and grateful that my boxes will be around the world. That is just amazing. That's what dreaming big and believing big. And I tell people I talk to all the time, you got to dream big and then dream bigger.
Right.
Keep going.
That is so true. And it goes to another message that you're able to share through social media. We're going to let our audience know here in a bit, Melissa, how they can stay connected with you. I want to say, though, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. Melissa Banks is our guest. We have someone from my home state of Mississippi joining me today on the program, our audience in Yazoo City. I know you guys will appreciate that. For our audience around the world that are joining us through iHeartRadio and also Spotify, this is definitely someone you want to take notice of. We're going to let you guys know how to follow her. You have on your Facebook page 5 words that I think say a whole lot, and that is dream it, then do it. I think the biggest problem that I see with a lot of people, Melissa, is that they have these ideas. I'm going to do this. I want to do that. Mm-hmm. But the execution is not there. How important has it been for you to stress with people that you didn't get here just from closing your eyes and saying, I want to do it, that you had to open your eyes and get to work? That's amazing, because I say, dreams don't happen by magic. And there's no shortcut. It takes lots of work. These people we look at that we admire, they do the work. So we can come up with the idea, and I'm working with an individual right now. Her idea is great, and it's amazing. And I said to her, okay, you got to get beyond the idea, and you got to get to the work. Because once you get to the work, it's the action that will propel you to success. Just the thought is not going to propel you. It's the action. So first you have to make the decision. You know what? I have this dream and I want to go for it. And once you make the decision, then you got to put it into action, because it's the action that matters. So one of the things I recommend to some of the ladies I work with is writing a list. Once you start going into action, you've made the decision that you want to go big, then you got to make a list. And every single day, you look at that list and say, I'm going to work towards this one thing. This is what I'm working on right now to get me to where I want to go. Another thing, Felix, is Cyrus, I suggest that people do a vision board, put something in front of them, because if you can't see where you want to go, you can't get there. You got to be able to see it. So put it in front of you. If your dream is to start this main boutique that sells specialty clothing, then put that in front of you, because if it's in front of you, you can work toward getting to it. But it's the action. The action is so important. It has definitely helped you to get to where you are today, Melissa. Again, everyone, absolutely. Melissa Banks has been our guest. Great conversation with you, Melissa. Really glad that you said yes to talking with us today and being able to share a part of your story with us. So how can our audience be able to stay connected with you, Melissa, and be able to find you? Okay, we're on Facebook. Melissa Banks is our personal page, and that you can always connect us there at Facebook. You can also connect with us on our business page at DMD Event Planning 2014. We're also on Instagram under DMD Event Planning and Design. And we have a Facebook page called Power of the Dream. If you put in Power of the Dream at DMD Event Planning and Design, you will see a compilation of all our little nuggets. I believe you can move forward by grasping onto a nugget that inspires you to move to your next level. So the Power of the Dream page is just that. It gives you some nuggets and some push that you just made to get you past that no to the yes. Thank you so much, Cyrus, for having me today. Well, look, the pleasure is definitely on mine. It is my pleasure for sure, and looking forward to our next conversation together, Melissa. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late, you missed part of the conversation with Melissa, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available to our social media sites. So head over to facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there, too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make it a great one.